thank the witness for his testimony. The chair will now recognize members for 5 minutes of questions, and I'm now going to recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Milito, I appreciate the acknowledgement in your testimony how important it is for the United States to start mining minerals like cobalt, nickel, and copper to meet ever-increasing demand. In your opinion, what will happen to our economy if we continue to turn a blind eye and refuse to produce those minerals domestically?
Thank you, Chairman. That's a great question. And I think what we're looking at is a situation where the debate is no longer about whether mineral production of critical minerals and in the ocean environment is going to happen, but where and under whose rules that's going to happen. And if this was a marathon, China is at mile 20, and we're just starting out. We need to get into this race, and we need to win this race because, of course, from a national security standpoint, the consequences are tremendous when facing an adversarial rival like China and the Communist Party of China. But economically, when you're not able to secure domestically the supply of critical minerals that we rely upon for everything, you're looking at the potential for lost jobs, weaker industries, shifting of manufacturing outside the United States, increased inflation, slower long-term economic growth. What you would end up seeing with these types of trends is that the U.S. risks becoming a technology designer, but not a technology builder. So it's dire, and the consequences from an economic standpoint would certainly be devastating if we continue to cede power to China.
Thank you. Mr. Barron, could you elaborate on why it does not make sense for every phase of a deep-sea mining project to go through an EIS under NEPA?
Yes, the modernization that was reflected yesterday shows how the industry has evolved. And historically, DSHMRA required every step to require an EIS. So, for example, our company, we've spent more than $750 million over the last 14 years, much of it on environmental work, for example. We have no exploration work to do. And there's a very nice solution which has been acknowledged, and that is to integrate NEPA rules, and they can decide what are the important things that need monitoring. They can decide what is going to have an impact on the environment. But the way the rules stood, which of course dates back to 1980, every step of the way, even if it involved no at-sea activity, needed an EIS, which is a little bit impractical.
Thank you. And how does the current process impact permitting timelines?
Well, very positively. And I think the other very important amendment was to enable a NOAA to consider a commercial recovery permit application at the same time as considering an exploration license application. And while we were permitted through a different organization, we don't have an exploration permit through NOAA quite yet. Yet we've done all of the work that would typically be done. So this is a very important change, and we have a high degree of confidence that this year we will see our permits granted for our commercial recovery permit application.
Thank you. Mr. Gunasakre, in your testimony, you touch on China's interest in deep-sea mining. In your opinion, are the Chinese close to being able to extract deep-sea minerals?
Yes, China has been very, very active over the last decade. They hold more exploration areas in the UN framework than any other country. They have the largest deep-sea fleet. They have multiple state-owned and private companies investing in collecting deep-sea mineral technologies. So they have been investing very, very heavily over the last decade. And this is now a race. And if we're not careful, they will win.
What will happen if we wait and cede deep-sea mining areas to China?
I think it's all around the problems that we are now in with critical minerals. You know, right now, for the last 25 years, we've kind of ceded that to China. And we're now realizing that our economies are completely dependent on it. Our military is dependent on it. And China has shown that they will weaponize in the recent trade negotiations around rare earths. It's a strategic vulnerability to the US. And this is a resource of such scale and such potential low cost that we can really win as long as we invest and don't let China own this area.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moylan, I cede the last 10 seconds to you.